Okay, so I know this is like the save file for the cats and stuff, but this is the one that I've been using as well to do the whole like echoes of time and stuff. And this guy is apparently a vampire and he's about to burst into flames, and I'm over here. My character Callie is over here just sort of chatting to him about the shards of time and stuff, and he's about to die. He's about to die while he's talking to her. And she doesn't know a thing. And so, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Yanibi Yanka. Claude Azoy.
You know, finding out information and then killing the Sim.
Ooh, this Ufa.
It's hilarious.
Tombra.
Frib Scuba Row. Que Zipa Nork. Nepi Yanka Chips.
The Fala Ferdoy. Wabarani Bayumi. Sibu Anamop.
They just don't want to shut up.
Voosh. Buna.
Is she actually gonna kill this guy?
Ka Zipa Nork. Chibadoo. Do Greek. To be
You think
yes.
she is?
Maybe Chip? Fasunya.
Oh, he lived. Sad, he lived. When you smell decay, do not dig the herbs up. They're not worth looking into. Dogaze would sweep a paw through the snow and uncover buried plants. What plant is this? You've seen and smelled this before, Driftheart. Driftheart would give a sniff. Garlic, used for preventing infections and death. If the cat is too far gone, or if we do not have enough herbs, then the cat will not survive. That's the life of a medicine cat. Learn to understand this is vital to do your job correctly. Dogaze would turn to the younger Toms as they trailed after listening. Do you two have any questions? Firepaw and Owlpaw had a small jump at being asked. Firepaw would fidget. What if we're in the woods? What if you smell herbs and flowers there? It's generally the same practice. It's generally the same practice as it would be here. Anywhere, actually, Dogaze replied and flicked her tail to have them follow her. Finding herbs and flowers is everywhere, and those that don't know this skill literally miss them or take them as another plant within the forest. Firepaw would nudge Owlpaw. Tell her! Dogaze would tilt her head at the two Toms in curiosity. Tell me what? Owlpaw would grumble at Firepaw at being outed by him. It's nothing! It's nothing if you saw it happen. Firepaw argued, upset about something. Tell her! Firepaw would nudge Owlpaw again. Tell her! What are you two arguing about? Driftheart asked, taking their attention. What happened? The Toms would settle and look at the ground as if they had been firmly told off. Owlpaw sighed. We watched a cat eat a berry and it left and said it was really good. Then a short while later we heard pained yowls from the woods, Firepaw added. We went to their yowls and found them frothing at the mouth and curled in themselves. Owlpaw shut his eyes tight as if the vision of the dead cat was before him. Why are berries dangerous? How can they be such? Firepaw exclaimed to Dogaze. Dogaze let her body slump. Not all berries are dangerous. Come on, let me show you. This is an important lesson for all of you. She'd take the three Toms to the woods. Firepaw would strike out front and head towards the dead cat's location. The cat that had gotten poisoned was still there. There was plenty of animal tracks, but none had taken a bite of the body. Dogaze went over to the body of the deceased. They ate poison berries. Where did they get them from? Al would remember and take Dogaze to the location. There was a bush that had berries that were white and looked nothing like the other berries. Dogaze would sigh. Of course. These are noxious elderberries. They can kill you if you aren't treated quickly for poison. Never get them mixed up. Will other cats know? The Firepaw suddenly stopped and figured out his own question. Oh. Gotcha. Dogaze would tend to the dead cat's body, giving it a send-off properly. May StarClan give you a place of comfort and endless days of good hunting. They would return to their home, and the day of training came to an end. Okay guys, this whole video is gonna be a little bit different from here on out. I am doing a little things for the characters and their backstories differently. And this idea comes from Siri Pixel Biologist, where she chooses random things and with the dice of destiny, and she brings up like backstories or whatever for characters and stuff. And I'm doing the same thing now because there's a lot to this that is just amazing. The creativity in this is just endless, and I love the stories that are being made with each character. So there are going to be events being rolled. There are still going to be illnesses being rolled, but there is going to be an absolute character backstory stuff going on as well. And if my voice kind of sounds like it's a little bit on the squeaky side, I'm a little bit meh right now. So, with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy the new ideas that are being made, or not being made, but being rolled. So let's get to it. Dogaze worked hard to find herbs for the sick cats. Driftheart had been working so hard to learn all the things he needed to that Dogaze couldn't help but respect him. Whenever Driftheart was around, or helping her sort the herbs, her heart fluttered for him. It pounded in her chest so hard she felt weak around him. Thinking about their relationship and how it was quite wrong to have a relationship with a tomcat if you were a healer, it saddened her. She was also sad for all the death that had happened in front of him, and how he had no way of fixing it. How she had put a paw on his paw in times of comfort, and told him, "I'll help you." She had meant what she said, but she never thought she would feel like this. After everything that had happened, Alpaw left the territory in the middle of the night. It wasn't until early the next morning when he returned. No one knew he'd left, but when Dogaze came and checked on him, he was quite sick. Firepaw held secrets. The things he knew bound him to secrecy, and it was rather depressive for him. He wanted to tell someone and be free, but there were consequences if he did. He couldn't bring trouble to those around him. Alpa and him had seen a lot of things while out, and now he was bound by oath to serve someone that he knew nothing about. How, just how, did they find themselves in such a predicament? Driftheart has developed a crush on the healer, Dogaze. He felt the need to protect her at any cost to make sure he could accomplish his task for StarClan. He finds inspiration from Dogaze on saving cats. And also, he's really falling for her even more on her care for others. Driftheart knows that healers can't have relationships as ordered by StarClan. Though, what if the feelings are mutual? He'd go through a horrible storm just for Dogaze. And how badly he wanted to announce his feelings about Dogaze to the world, but he couldn't. Everything about them brought conflict and trouble to the colony, though their romance would be a secret. Okay, so on Monday, Alpa got sick with white cough, and Driftheart got sick with green cough. So to save Alpa, Dogaze has been going out and looking for herbs, and she has found catnip and snapdragons and basil and daisy, parsley, tulips, lilies, blackberries, blueberries, cherries, crocuses, and napnips. Also, she found morel mushrooms, garlic, and false morel mushrooms. Now, normally, certain cats wouldn't know what the mushrooms are, but she does. So, blueberries, we need 5 of them if we were to save Alpa. So, we're not doing that. We can't use blackberries. Can't use napnips. We need strawberry, blueberry, or grapes. Grapes don't grow until fall, so we can use parsley. We need 2 parsley for Driftheart. So we're gonna give him 1 parsley and 1 daisy. So he's good. And then for Alpa, strawberry, blueberry, or grape. Alright, so we have 4 blueberries. We have no strawberries. I thought we did, but we don't. Okay, so for for Alpa, we need strawberry, blueberries, or grapes. We have both, actually, I think. Yeah, we have 3 strawberries and 4 blueberries. So we need 5. So I would say give 2 strawberries. And then 3 blueberries. So there we go. We've got stuff. She is going to go and plant the other things that she has out here. So let's see here. Where is she going to grab that? Let's see. Cherries. I don't think we need cherries. Blueberries can go here. Strawberry can come here. The blackberries? Oh yeah, she did blackberries over there. Daisies, snapdragons. I don't remember what false morel mushrooms do, but we've got them just in case. We have a lot of garlic. So, yeah. Alright, so Tuesday, or Monday, that was what happened on Monday. They are pretty good. It's too cold to plant. Oh my god, the amount of cats over here is ridiculous. Who is throwing up? Who is... You're not pregnant. Bounces, are you the one that's pregnant? Probably, yeah, oleander bush. Oh, that's right, oleander bush. So this is one of Moss Leaf's kittens, by the way, guys. Isn't she cute? She has the same colorations as Moss Leaf does, all grown up. She looks just like her dad. Now this is another of the offspring called Howl Snarl. If y'all remember Howl Snarl, he was really cool. Is he a male? Yeah, he's a male. And then we've got Quahog, who is the father of some kits outside in the world. Let me show you. He has 2 kids. He's got Shamrock Pelt and Pelican Stare. It would have been more, but they died. So, yeah. So now we've got Dogaze and Flamepaw and Owlpaw's asleep over here. Where is Driftheart? Driftheart's asleep in the doorway. Oh, we've got Rainbow. Rainbow is one of the strays that we didn't make. They appeared. So, anyways, going on to Tuesday. Within his sleep, he dreamt of a place. The barn that he'd met Dogaze at. As he walked the familiar path into the barn, he'd come across a large group of cats. The cats were looking towards an old ragged Tom that had scores of scars over his body. I want every cat that is wild and is in these so-called clans to be killed or driven from these lands. A white cat would enter, causing all cats that were in front of it to shrink back. The old Tom that stood on top of haystacks would glare at the white cat. Why are you back? I thought I told you to never return. The white cat would leap up on the haystack to stand next to the old Tom. The white cat's eyes were a deep, deep blue. This Tom is sending you on a wild goose chase. He has no evidence to back up his accusations. Cats from the barn would talk amongst themselves. Driftheart would look around himself as the cats talked and argued. He looked towards the white cat and watched as a large Tom would step forward. "Alright, old Tom. I think it's time that I take over your plan and carry it through better than you ever could." The old Tom would look to the large cat that had stepped forward. He'd grin. Driftheart would suddenly get yanked back. He'd awaken to find himself back in the mine. Driftheart would suddenly get yanked back. He'd awaken to find himself back within the mine. What had that dream been? As he'd pull himself to his paws, he'd come face to face with the white cat. He'd gasp. Her gaze would suddenly glow as bright as the sky in daylight. "Beware of the viper that coils the blazing willow. Find the one that carries the ice." There was suddenly a rush of air that caused his eyes to sting. He closed them briefly before opening them again. The white cat was no longer there. This is Morel. This is false Morel. It's very harmful. Never get them confused. Her paw would touch his as they'd sit there with tails curled about one another, his thick fur hiding the broad muscle beneath as he'd lean on her slightly. This was the only time that they could ever speak to one another on what they were thinking or had been thinking about. "Driftheart," she'd purr, looking at him with a bemused look. I noticed Firepaw is getting more and more curious." The Tom would nuzzle her. "He's picking things up nicely." "What about me?" Doge smiled, nuzzling into him. "Your progress is above theirs. I can only think you had a helping paw from..." She'd stop herself, not wanting to say the name. She didn't want that name to stop this, like it always did. Both were just as worried for the other if anything were to happen. "It's in my blood," he'd say, nudging her. "I'm from a direct line." "In your blood," she'd reply, agreeing with him. "They would be proud of you. By the time next New Leaf comes around, you'll be healing cats with no problem." "Our family will," he'd add, resting his head on hers. Doge's, "I don't want you to go back." Doge's would remain leaning into his fur with her face buried. His heartbeat thudding so loudly, it was all she could think about. She didn't want to go back. My kits. I left them there. "You're having more. Are you going to leave them here and never see us again?" he'd ask softly. Her heart wrenched at his words. Her path wasn't to stay there. They both knew this. This was only a brief encounter. "I trust you to take care of them as I would have." "They're going to be a reminder of me." He'd sigh, looking out at the snow. Ugh, can't say I didn't try. Oh my god, Doge is a Driftheart, yes!